Hi gorgeous lights, just really wanted to pop up a video today and I haven't for a while and I apologise for that as well. There's lots going on in everybody's worlds and it's also really important to sometimes realise that everybody's just doing the best that they can with everything that's going on right at the moment as well. Now I want to explain something because I spend half my time here on the planet course and I spend half my time working with upstairs. And I just wanted to explain where you're actually at right at the moment as well, so everyone has got a kind of clearer idea. A while ago, I'd started to say to people, look, we've got the changes, challenges and choices energy that's starting to come in. And because of our human brains, we have a tendency to go, okay, well, probably a little bit of change, a few choices and a little bit of challenges, because that's what we do. We love thinking on such a small scale. The universe, on the other hand, thinks on a really big scale, and it is actually really quite adamant at the moment that Gaia is literally shaking herself of these old energies, and the energies that are surfacing actually have to be kind of transmuted through us as human beings for us to actually clear the energy. So universe within, universe without. So we literally clear energy through us as Gaia actually shakes it. Now, our planet has been holding on to for quite a long period of time, genocide energy, Holocaust energy, sickness energies, all those sorts of energies are actually rising up from her right at the moment as well. And New Zealand's kind of in a pivotal place because we're actually like the last piece of Lemuria as well, from the Atlantean and Lemurian time frame. So we kind of get the condensed version of everything that's going on around the world right at the moment as well. So taking all of that into consideration, what's actually happening is the bit to focus on is she's clearing the energy. It has to transmute through us. And in order to do that, it has to pass through the collective consciousness as well. So right at the moment, we've got the collective consciousness sitting in this really weird divided bandwidth of fear energy, which is, and anxiety energy, which is really hard to move through, and also this awareness rising, spirit calls it, where people are actually becoming more aware that we are in this together, that there is no quick fix solution. It requires unity, it requires compassion, it requires understanding, and it requires us to dig deep underneath our fear to see that we actually have choices and how we unify through this to come out the other side. And of course, because we're entering the age of Aquarius as well, which is peace, love and harmony, we're kind of jumping back from 3D to 5D, like, oh, I can be really compassionate today, and then, oh, I'm really fearful, and anxious, and what's the future going to look like? So we're really doing this awful seesawing right at the moment as well. And I kind of want to say that, this is really pivotal. We haven't had really any major spaces before. Well, we have, beg your pardon, history repeats itself, it seriously does, but we also have choices about generationally what we do along the way and how we actually deal with it. So this is an amazing time to be on the planet. I really want to stress that, but it's also one of the biggest challenges is actually holding your own light for the collective consciousness as we're transmuting all these energies as well. So planetary alignment wise, we're in the same planetary alignment as 1918, which was about a 4-year trajectory as they moved through the Spanish flu as well. Exactly the same planetary alignment. So that means that we're going to actually have to roll through our own hurdles and understanding as well. And yet there's bigger stuff going on because there's always bigger stuff going on. Basically, human capacity at times is quite limited to be able to process exactly everything that's happening in the universe. There's a massive vested interest in the planet from the off-worlds right at the moment, not just from spirit, but from the actual off-worlds. So as Earth is pivotal and on its axis of what it's actually heading towards as well. So sometimes when I sit down, I go, oh my goodness, look at that, look at that, look at that. It becomes quite hard for me to decide how much information that I need to kind of give, or how that information will actually be interpreted as well, because don't forget I'm interpreting it through the Play-Doh of my mind as well, but I'm just really wanting to actually get people really understanding how pivotal and how important it is for you to understand that you're part of this humanity collectiveness, and the goodness in you and the truth of you and the realness of you is actually beyond any fear and into this really deep part of knowing of the choices of how you turn up in this integral time is based on your integrity, your compassion, and your sense of unity with other people. We are all in this together. This is something that I keep being reminded constantly from Spirit, to remind people there is no bad person in this. There is human beings trying to exist together the best way that they can, going forward into an uncertainty that we don't know what society is going to look like, and we're trying to actually deal with the dynamic. Now, the rule of thumb is we fight to hold on, we fight to let go. So at the end of the day, what we're seeing happening, and Spirit have very, very clearly said that every country will behave like the point of their origin, because they're clearing energy from the point of their origin. So each country is doing things a little bit differently. And they're clearing this energy that Gaia is shaking through, to do with all the unfairness and inequality and control and manipulation, and everything's all coming out. It's certainly coming out. And it's rising 100% in each one of us, by the way, as well. So we have people very much sitting in vindication that they're right in this direction. We have people sitting in saying that they're right in this direction. And our need to be right in the human brain gives us a feeling of having a semblance of control on it, because we don't like not having control. Now, we normally, really don't stand our ground on who we actually need to be unless we're pushed, unless we're actually pushed in that direction or pushed in that direction, and then we kind of choose our alliances. The point the Spirit keeps making to me is that alliance is in unity together, regardless of your choices, because you're both human beings, whether that's or whatever, you're both human beings coming together to help support each other through something else that's happening in the world as well. They're really, really, really importantly stressing all the time, find your compassion, find your unity, and work together, because we have these amazing creative solution-based brains. But we have a lot of also societal programming as well that actually says in order to keep the peace we need to follow along, and we need to do that. And people say to me, but we need to have rules. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't say that we didn't need to have rules, but we also need to actually remain compassionate and understand exactly what's actually happening here as well, so that we can really lean into our true, authentic selves and actually raise the energy of the planet by actually being honest and actually not waiting for someone else to come in and say, here, do this, do that, because you have your internal moral radar in yourself about knowing that we're in this together. So it's something that Spirit keeps reminding an awful lot. Plus it's a process. So that we're in the middle of a process, and the great divide that they call it is whether we continue to sit in a fear-based energy or whether we push through that fear-based energy, knowing that it's just a barrier to our truthful selves, and each one of us is actually being called to do that as well. Now, there's no right or wrong with this, as people don't want to move forward in that. They don't want to move forward in it. You can't force anyone at their evolutionary growth to be more or less than what they actually can be. Everyone's doing the best they can with whatever piece of knowledge that actually resonates with them as much as possible. And that's a choice. However, the problems seem to come in when people are going, well, and a lot of people can say, oh, I can completely honour your choice, and a lot of people over here can say, well, I can't honour your choice, I need to change your mind, or I need to convert you, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. That imbalance energy of the Great Divide, all it does is it creates more confusion, more brain fog, and that sort of thing as well. So if you're looking at out and going, oh, crikey, that point of view, or that point of view, there is that rabbit hole feeling of just falling into a rabbit hole and not knowing 100% which way to go. Now, they're asking you, and they've been asking me this for weeks as well, to hold your light. Now, to hold your light is not some vindication that you're right by any stretch of the imagination, but to actually focus on the art of being, the art of doing, the art of turning up as the real you, the compassionate, understanding, non-fearful, real you, who is gently and sacredly spreading your light on the planet by just turning up in your most authentic way. Most of us don't know what that is. Now, we're really clear about that, because we've been trying to be something or trying to be someone an illusional energy that's actually crumbling away. So as illusions start to fall away, we start to hold on to them even tighter. So things become even more chaotic. And they keep showing it to me like, you know, the more chaos there is, the more order or the more understanding is going to come out the other side of it as well, as long as we're working in unity with each other as well. So, you know, if I stand on this side, I can say, oh, it's unity in this direction. If I stand on that side, I can, oh, it's unity in that direction. Well, yeah, you can argue that till the cows come home, but the point is we're actually in it together. So there isn't, in this case, a right or a wrong, because each human being that's on the planet is the most unique human being. Your blood cells run differently, beg your pardon, your veins run differently in your body, and your blood cells look different to somebody else as well. Just minor, subtle changes. It makes you the unique person that you are. You have your own fingerprints, for goodness sake. You don't think that you have your own organs and things like that that are different from other people. The point is that there isn't... the collective consciousness is made up of all of these beautiful different aspects, like different flavours to a unique soup, because we're supposed to be like that as well. The unity comes from understanding this, and then it becomes like love is acceptance, and love is unconditional acceptance that the person is the way they are without wanting to change them or have them be this or have them be that. This is exactly the same scenario. It's where do you actually say, I deeply honour that you need to be the person that you are, because that's integrity, and I deeply honour that you need to be the person that you are, and I accept that lovingly, and bring in that unified acceptance as well. And this is, you know, people go, well, that's not reasonable, I still have to live my life. Yes, you do, but what you choose out of this period of time, and this is really important, is what you have to live with for the whole rest of your life. Personally, I'd like to actually live that I have actually loved people unconditionally and who they actually are for themselves as well. And, you know, you're going to have your differences. You're a human being. It's messy. It's awesome, but it's messy. At the end of the day, you're going to have fallings out with people. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. But you've also, at points in time, got to be able to put your hand on your heart and say, I'm really happy with the choices that I made along the way of who I actually am. We're journeying to discover who we actually are right at the moment. So not only is Gaia shaking free all this energies that we're transmuting and they're passing through us, so you'll have restlessness, you'll have the mood swings, you'll jump from 3D to 5D. No, I need to change this, these people are all wrong, to, oh no, peace, love and harmony, trust me, everybody's doing it. Sleepless nights, restless feelings, hopelessness, hopefulness. This is all transitional energy as well. So the changes, challenges and choices energy is also corresponding with what's actually changing as well. So we have an intense couple of months coming, because we're exploring also, because next year is an exploring possibilities year, we're exploring possibilities that could actually take us beyond thinking that we have to control every single situation that's going on in our life as well. And it's really, really important we unify at times for the good of everybody, not just it needs to be that way or it needs to be that way. This is part of where we kind of look at the aspects of a society that are turning up illusional, they're telling me, and actually say, is this the way that we want to live it going forward? Is this 100% what we actually really want to do? So we've got quite a few choices that are coming up right at the moment as well. So I just thought I'd drop you hints about that. There is a lot going on. I sometimes wonder like how to condense it all down so it's actually understandable, and then you can go, well, that makes sense to me. But Spirit have just asked me to put it out there anyway. So please, please, please hold your light. Please stay in your integrity. I know it's really hard at the moment, and we are in changes, challenges and choices energy, but you have a choice about how you turn up on a daily basis. Please do it with compassion. Please do it with love, and please do it with integrity. We are well, and we are all in this together. And it's so, so important that we actually remember that. Please look after your gorgeous lights and keep shining. Thank you.